We have a really exciting list of people who've been awarded the Mayor's Award, and I'm going to start with Adam's Apple. So Adam's Apple is the nominee, and the nominator is Nick Beck, and he is nominating Adam and all who work with him because of the way they transitioned. I'm just going slowly because I'm waiting for the picture. They transitioned their business and operation to support the local community in Raunds and surrounding villages during the start of this pandemic. With little or no guidance from the government at the time, and due to being such a new environment, they worked hard to make sure they were operating in a safe yet convenient manner. There they are, the lineup. I know we did a podcast when we were working on the podcasts about COVID. They talked to us about the changes they were making and the extra services they were providing in order to support people going through. So I'm very pleased to see they've been received an award. So moving on to the next award, which is a nomination. The name of the nominee is Danielle Darby. There she is, standing in there, lovely, nominated by Sam Darby. So Danielle is an assistant teacher at Windmill Primary. She normally works part-time with the Year 2 class. When the last lockdown started, the teaching staff numbers were reduced due to people shielding, etc. Danielle then took on a role of full-time teacher, and although not trained or even very experienced, she helped with a class of Year 6 students still attending the school for several months. This is a teaching assistant that goes above and beyond all expectations for her role and does her utmost for every child under her care. Although she does not get paid to be a teacher, she acts like one, even preparing lessons and activities, etc., in her free time at home. I'm sure the head teacher and deputy teacher at Windmill would agree that Danielle has shown not just dedication for her role, but has far surpassed the expectations in her role, and many children have benefited from her compassion and tireless work in the last year. So congratulations from Sam Darby to Danielle. Thank you. Our third award is the nominator is Stuart James, who we met earlier, and he had indeed talked in his presentation about David Bow. There he is. Again, we have here, David has been an integral part of the Raunds and Thrapston area volunteers, from being one of the first volunteers to manning the help desk since the start of the pandemic. He liaises with the person asking for assistance, enables a volunteer to be assigned to help with their requests. David has undertaken a huge number of volunteer actions himself, despite still working from home. He continues to collect shopping and prescriptions for several members of the community. David was one of the Raunds area volunteers who worked closely with Raunds and Thrapston food banks during the school holidays to provide and distribute lunches to local school pupils. In conclusion, David's community spirit and sense of civic duty has been a bedrock to our group. So congratulations again, Stuart and David and we did another podcast talking about the tremendous work that was at that time being carried out by Raunds area volunteers. Our next award is for Gemma Southern. Gemma, this has come from Mr. Ian Lawrence, and he says, I have known Gemma for about 25 years. This person is a super person who will help me when possible. I regard and respect her, plus her husband, who have been a gem to me in this long period. Gemma takes me anywhere, to the local pub or shopping, or to go to Thrapston. She is my neighbour and a very good one. I am 79 years old and I do not smoke. I walk when possible. She does my washing and I do the ironing. Glad to hear it. Gemma is a friend to anybody and is respected in her job contributions. So many congratulations there to Gemma, which takes us on to our youngest award winner here this evening, and that's Isla Baggett. And Isla has been nominated by Sadie Baggett, so her mum. So she says, I would like to nominate my daughter Isla for the Mayor's Citizens Award for her huge effort in supporting the homeless community and raising money for the Northampton charity Hope. Quite often when out and about, if Isla notices a homeless person, she will buy a chocolate, sausage roll and a drink for them. Last November, one evening, she mentioned that she had been to Asda and had seen a homeless man, so bought him a drink and sausage roll. Isla wondered if there was any more she could do to help. We thought about what she would like, she could be like if there was nowhere to live, and Isla thought about a care pack. She wrote a list of what she would like in the care pack, set about raising money to fill the bags. Isla sold some clothes, toys, and some furniture and raised £150. I took her to a shop and she purchased some clothing, chocolate, food, drink, toothpaste and brush, notebook and pen, and deodorant and wipes. She also chose some warm bobble hats, socks, and gloves. Isla made 5 ladies' bags and 5 men's bags and wrote a Christmas card for each bag. We delivered them just before Christmas to the Hope Centre for them to distribute. Isla then decided she would like to do something else to raise money in January 2021, and she took part in the Hope Centre's Big Sleep Out. You may have seen this on local television. She created a cardboard box tent and slept on the hard kitchen floor for the night, along with myself and her big sister Sophia. It was uncomfortable and cold and helped Isla reflect on how hard it must be for those less fortunate than herself, who do not have a warm shelter to live. Isla fundraised for the Big Sleep Out and it raised a huge £740. This money was given to the Hope Centre. Isla was lucky enough to make it into the local newspaper and onto the local evening news. This helped to spread even more awareness. Isla is so thoughtful, caring and kind, and always puts others before herself. We are all so very proud of her. And rightly so. My very congratulations to a wonderful start to a life that's going to be focused on caring for other people. It's a great joy to read your story. The next nominee is Jay Davenport. The last 12 months in the education sector has been far from easy. Jay's leadership at Manor has been exemplary. He has responded to all government demands swiftly, putting students' health, safety, and well-being at the heart of every decision. The essential focus on teaching, learning, and curriculum throughout lockdown and beyond has been nothing short of impressive. Indeed, the World Wellness curriculum on offer at Manor School is world-class. Jay has developed our Manor to become the community-focused school that it really should be. He is fully deserving of all and any recognition that is sent his way. So I think we've seen earlier on the results of some of his work, and we feel very proud to have you here and very proud of our schools in Raunds. So congratulations to Jay. Which takes us then to our next award, which is Tom Hatton, who has made 2 appearances this evening. So Lee Towers has nominated Tom. I would like to nominate Tom Hatton, Sports Centre Manager at Manor School. The role of his and his team was in jeopardy as a result of COVID and the closing down of gyms and sports clubs across the country. Tom and his team have been redeployed to support the running of the school in this context. One of the key roles that Tom took on was running the Manor School testing for students. It was a mammoth undertaking, but he was able to draw on its knowledge and training at the first responders to identify a team, set up the operation, and work with colleagues in school in arranging 3 tests for approximately 1,000 students. The outcome was that all the tests were completed in a professional, timely, and efficient manner. The support it offered to the senior leadership team operating under challenging circumstances was significant and immeasurable. I would also like to acknowledge Tom's support in helping the people of Raunds and surrounding areas for his role as an emergency first responder. I know of a number of cases where Tom has gone above and beyond in support of people in their time of need. On a personal level, I've had to call Tom on 3 occasions in recent months where people have been injured or hurt. Tom has provided medical care and comfort to those whilst waiting for an ambulance. On one occasion, he sat with a patient on the school site for over 5 hours to provide pain relief and comfort. Tom has achieved all of this in the context of bringing up his young family. He is an asset to Manor School and the Sports College, and he is totally committed to supporting our local community. He is, in my opinion, fully deserving of this award, and I would be surprised if this is the only nomination for him. Well, congratulations, Tom, and you know, you have put in so much. You've managed to spread your time between doing the first responders and looking after everybody's health and well-being and bringing up a young family. I know the input that you have to our town. So thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Which takes us now on to Tony Wright. Tony Wright, here she is. This is a nomination from Judy Huser. Tony is a highly valued volunteer for the Raunds Food Bank. Despite shielding, Tony has volunteered her beautiful thatched house in North Street as a drop-off point for donations. Tony is a very caring person and willing to spend time chatting on her front lawn, whatever time of day people bring donations. She's also a great PR person for the food bank and willingly sends requests and thank yous on social media. Prior to COVID, Tony was one of the cake bakers for the community cafe, and her cakes always looked and tasted fantastic. Tony also accepts donations for the baby basics, as in involved with the knitted toys of St. Peter's Church. Thank you. It's been really good this evening that many of the original presentations that we listened to were the topics in more detail that these awards are being awarded for. So we have a real understanding of what people have done and how the context in which they've done it has worked. So we are really, I think it's a really impressive group of awards here, and thank you to those who took the time to nominate them, and thank you for the pictures that we have with the certificates there. Which takes us on to the last of the awards, and this is the award. This is the Mayor's Award, the Mayor's Citizens Awards, and this is my award for this year. The award, as you can see, goes to the Raunds and Thrapston area volunteers. When the pandemic struck in April 2020, we all found ourselves in uncharted waters. Many of us were afraid and isolated, not knowing what was going to be happening in the future and where our lives were going. But in the words of an English cricketer, Cliff Gladwin, when with 2 wickets standing and 12 runs required off the last 3 remaining overs, he came in to bat. The famous phrase, "Cometh the hour, cometh the man." Stuart James was travelling when, in a moment of inspiration, he knew he had to use his skills to bring the community together to support one another. The starting point for the Raunds and Thrapston area volunteers was to turn this idea into action, to fulfil what looked like a short-term need. They acted rapidly, efficiently, effectively, and the impact of their work was immediately recognised by the residents of Raunds. When I interviewed Stuart and David in one of my podcasts 3 months into the project, they were a team of 120 volunteers, networked across the district, and 1,000 requests going through their help desk. A string of successes behind you. They've mentioned a few this evening, but I was especially impressed with the live cricket for a chameleon and the delivery of 15,000 leaflets for ENC and countless individual requests from the residents of Raunds. Above and beyond all, they galvanized the whole community to be involved, offering a sense of achievement for all and delivering a much needed service for our residents of Raunds at a time of our greatest need. So thank you, Stuart, and thank you everyone who's in the Raunds and Thrapston area volunteers. And you'll be remembered for a long, long time, and really a huge contribution. And I think you've just proved that it can be done. Communities can work together. So would you all like to unmute yourselves, please? And we'll join in an applause for everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.